Yes, in your syllabus, this is what is expected. Identifying gap areas from literature review. How you are going to identify gap? What is a gap actually? What is a research gap? For example, earlier I was discussing about one problem. There are six species, six families of butterflies in the world. Just imagine. And the previous workers have discovered only three families of butterflies in Kurvalangan area. There is nothing is known about other three families. That is a gap. Out of six families, we are only aware of three families from Kuravalangad area. About the other three families, we do not have any knowledge. So that is a gap. So this kind of information that is lacking or not known about a particular area is known by the name of research gap. So research gap or a literature gap refers to unexplored or underexplored area. In certain area, we do not have sufficient information. Then and sometimes it has that means nobody has studied anything. Then that situation is known as unexplored. Somebody has studied little, then it is known as underexplored. So either nothing is known or very little is known. That situation is known as underexplored or unexplored or underexplored, and that gives a scope for more research in that area, because we are sending moon missions to every country is sending moon mission. Why? Very little is known about moon. We do not know anything significant or important things about the moon so far. We just know the shape of the moon, some basic things about the we already know, but still we do not know what kind of minerals are there, how much in quantity. So that is the way the countries are sending, whether it is possible to bring those minerals to India so that can be used for some different types of manufacturing thing. So this could be a population of sample, research method, data collection. Any area the research gap can exist. In certain sometime we do not know we do anything about a particular type of animals or particular type of species. All these can constitute a research gap. Conducting exhaustive literature review. So how can you identify a research gap? The first and the best the best method is actually going for a deeper study. Okay, so as you search for journal articles, you will need to read critically across the breadth of the literature to identify these gaps. So this is where artificial intelligence is going to change things completely. Earlier, if you want to identify a research gap, you need to study and read thoroughly. Now it is very easy. Within 1 or 2 seconds, you are, for example, you are going to type what are the research gaps available about the butterflies of Kurvalangan area. You type in chat GPT, it will bring the answer immediately. Then what is the need for a thorough study? Now, actually, you have to understand one important thing. This artificial intelligence has been discovered by European and Western people. They are facing an important problem for their existence because they do not have sufficient people there. It is because of the lack of people they have invented techniques like this. So that with fewer people, they can still dominate the world. They can still do a lot of things. But in India, situation is not like that. We have plenty of people, and actually the world is a lot worried about India because we have a lot of young population. And what Canada or Australia or New Zealand, they do lack is that they do not have sufficient people. So that is why they are inventing tools like artificial intelligence. But we have to understand that because of tools like artificial intelligence, the knowledge of the people will be decreasing. That is one. That reading habits of the people will be decreasing. So earlier people used to know very thoroughly about certain field. Now that kind of knowledge will be changing. People will be very specific. Some person will be studying about butterflies. He may be only knowing certain areas of butterflies only, not the entire field of entire butterflies, and he may not be knowing. That was the case earlier. Now the situation is changing drastically because of this artificial intelligence. Your goal is to find a space For example, when you are studying about butterflies area, as I earlier told you, all out of 6 families, only from 3 families the butterflies are known. Another gap that you have discovered that out of the different habitat, the previous workers have studied only about butterflies in garden area or in house backyard, etc. They have not studied any butterfly in forest area. They have not studied any butterfly in paddy field. So that is a research gap. So this kind of information is what is actually looking for. So when you go into a research, the first thing everybody is doing is that you will be studying thoroughly. By studying thoroughly, you will be able to get lot of information about what is known and what is not known. So that way that will be improving your analytical skills, and you will be able to bring out new information, analyze new information. So the first step is gathering a broad range of research article. You may want to look for a research method, approach a topic from a variety of method, different way you can approach a research problem. Then challenges you may face while identifying research effort of dealing with enormous information. This was an important challenge earlier. Now this is no longer a challenge. Because of artificial intelligence, you can within 5 minutes you can get a lot of information that we were collecting some 1 year ago. Because by 5 minutes, by spending simply 5 minutes, you will be able to get all the research gaps, all the existing knowledge. You just type in a chat GPT or any other artificial intelligence tools that find out the gaps in butterfly diversity in Koralangat region or in Kottayam district. Or you can, that will give you all that will analyze all the existing knowledge and bring before you. So these are the things which has been studied by previous researcher. These are the areas which are still unexplored, so that it is quite easy for you. So that is why earlier dealing with enormous information was a problem. Difficulty of searching in an organized manner, that is also a problem. Some researchers might find it difficult to organize the information they have gathered. One can easily lose ideas if they are not so you are getting lot of information, and you do not have a proper habits of pointing out or writing down all this information correctly. Then you might not be able to analyze it. Nowadays, because of computer, because of different types of software, these things are quite easy. Organizing information is quite easy because of computer, because of mobile, different types of software and tools are there. Hesitation in questioning established norms. Some researchers are not confident enough to challenge the existing knowledge in their field and may hesitate to question what others have claimed in their work. Because if you look back when in the history, you can say the earth was supposed to be flat for a long time. Because when everybody looks, we appear earth to be flat. But some scientists discovered that earth is not flat, it is actually spherical. But even though they are sure that many of the previous scientists are not very bold enough to question that. Questioning that knowledge itself has led to death for many scientists. So many people will be sometimes quite hesitant to question what is already well established in our society. That is also a problem. Where can you locate the research gap? Use a discussion, and because when you are reading an article, there are in every article at the end of the article there will be a what we call discussion area, and this discussion area will be highlighting what the person has studied and what he may not be able to study, so that by reading the discussion area or the last paragraph of any research paper, you will be able to get some information about the research gap. Continue to ask critical questions of your topic: who, what, when, where, how. These are some important questions: who, what, when, where, how, about the different aspects of your research. Then you will be able to give a lot of information and finding out a research gap. So this is the important method by which you will be able to, once you have outlined the gaps in the literature, point these out and how you can identify the important issues for future study. Identifying gaps in literature shows that you understand the topic, suggesting new work, shows you how the potential for further study and in deep. So this is an important thing. By simply studying deeply into the research problem, you will be able to pinpoint these areas are unexplored. Nobody has studied anything here. In this area, very little information exists. So this is known as the finding the research gap, and nowadays finding research gap is not a problem. The only thing that is difficult is that spending time to solve the research problem, about which we will be studying in another class.